So your favorite leather jacket is fading, cracked, or damaged, and you have no idea where to start. If you think it's a goner, it's not. And I'll be proving it by showing you exactly how to go from this all the way to this using my 3 C's system: clean, condition, and conserve. Hey guys, and welcome to Avummies. My name is Evan, and it's my goal to share the skills and tools needed to love your leather. Most people ask AI and get 10 different answers and still have no idea where to start. Today, you're getting one time-tested system I use for all my restorations, so let's start with step 1. The first C is cleaning. Before we recolor anything, we'll want to remove the surface dirt, dust, or debris. I'll be using Leather Honey's spray cleaner to make easy work over these large areas of leather on this jacket. Always spot test and then spray directly onto your cloth and work one panel at a time. Ensure you don't oversaturate your leather because this can damage the leather over time. Specifically, this jacket got caught in the rain and the previous owner did not allow it to properly dry, so it has some mold spores that I'll be cleaning away today. And a question I get often is it even safe to wear my jacket after I've cleaned off the mold? And here's the honest answer. If it's surface mold, the white, dusty kind that shows up after putting a rained-on jacket in the closet, yes. Clean it right, condition it after, store it dry, and you're fine. Most people never need to worry beyond that. Your jacket is not ruined, and it definitely is salvageable. Now, if you pulled this jacket out and it's covered in, let's say, black mold, or it's been sitting wet for months where the mold has just completely covered the jacket, I'm going to be straight with you guys. That one is probably a goner. Not everything can be saved, but that's not most jackets. Most jackets just need someone to actually clean and care for them. Of course, I suggest wearing protective personal equipment like at least a mask, and definitely clean your jacket outside if possible so the mold spores don't come in contact with your living space. Now, I know this is a bit more specific, but I just wanted to quickly note that if you've ever gotten glue like contact cement or sticker residue on your leather, whether that's a jacket, a couch, a bag, or shoes, I found that using rubber, in this case an eraser, or rubber gloves easily and gently removes that glue or goop left behind by using light to medium pressure, which causes friction to adhere onto the eraser and off of your leather. Just make sure that you guys don't push too hard and ruin the surface of your leather. So now that your jacket is fully clean from all of that debris and dirt, as well as fully dry, we need to address that fading. Maybe that fading is from normal wear, or maybe it's like this where there were stickers that ripped off, leaving the surface of the leather faded, uneven, and discolored, which is why it was probably given away. On to the next C, which stands for conditioning, but today we're doing coloring. Coloring with a recoloring balm, which is also going to condition your leather as well, but just with that added pigment. Alright, so this product is so simple to use. Let me quickly explain how it works. First off, this bottle has 2 connected caps, a pop-off cap that reveals an applicator sponge, and a twist-off cap that allows you to more quickly apply a lot of balm directly onto a brush or a cloth. First off, you need to remove the foil seal, so twist off the first cap and lift up on the foil seal tab so that the balm can begin to flow. Screw back on that first cap and then pop off the upper cap to reveal the sponge applicator. It's that simple. Okay, so before we use this balm, you'll want to ensure that it's right for your specific leather. So you simply want to apply some balm directly onto an inconspicuous area. I'm using the inside of the collar to ensure that I like the result. From there, all you have to do is apply a thin, even coat to the entire faded or discolored area, which may be a portion or the entire leather you're working with. For me, I'm just applying it here directly onto the faded area, and I'm just going to see what happens from here. So I'm really liking the immediate results here, but I want to let this dry for a few hours and come back to it and see how it looks. Now, something I want to note is that this is a recoloring balm. This is not going to fix textural issues. This is only going to bring back that rejuvenated, rich black color to your leather. So just creating the right expectations here. Now, if you're wondering if recoloring balm will work on faux leather, Yeah, it'll touch up the color, but it can't fix what's happening underneath. Once PU starts peeling, that's it. No product stops that. It's like painting over rust. Looks okay for a minute and then bubbles right back up. It's not your fault because PU was never built to last, but if it's already peeling, I would save your money on the balm. When you're ready for your next jacket, definitely go full grain or top grain. You won't be having this conversation again. Now, if you're looking at your leather and you're unsure what type it is, I built a free visual ID guide at avummies.com/leather so that you can compare your leather side by side and know exactly what you've got before you touch it. Link in the description below. Now let's move on to a different type of leather wear. And this is the most common. It's just normal wear from high traffic areas on your jacket, like the cuffs and zipper. And this happens most often due to intense dryness paired with heavy use and consistent friction or abrasion. So to fix this, we literally are just doing the same thing. We're applying the recoloring balm directly to those areas and then watching the leather just come back to life, just like the day you brought it home. All right, so there's a few ways that you can apply this balm. You can apply it directly through the squeeze tube that goes onto that built-in applicator and just apply it that way. Or you can apply it directly on a cloth, or you can apply it, which is my favorite, onto a horsehair brush when tackling large surface areas like a large jacket or furniture pieces like a couch. Using a brush also helps evenly disperse and pick up any excess balm that you may have applied, while also getting into nooks and crannies like between stitches and in and around perforated leather like on this jacket, or maybe in your car interior that has perforated leather car seats. Now here's a few options for when your leather loses color. The most overlooked one is simply conditioning your dried out leather. This is going to bring in suppleness, hydration, and flexibility back into your leather and restore that color. But if that's not the case and you do need to recolor your leather, another option is that you could use a leather dye, which is a full solvent-based color penetration. It's very aggressive, it's permanent, but not something you want to do if you don't know what you're doing. Plus, it can get really messy and stain very easily. Or you could use something cheaper, more convenient, and way easier like this recoloring balm. It renews the color while also nourishing the leather. Not all balms are created equal, and I want to be very specific about why I chose this one. So I've been using alcohol-based dyes on my leather for years. One wrong move and your kitchen table, your clothes, your floor, permanently stained, no fixing it. But this balm, until it fully cures, it's water soluble. So you can spill it on your workspace or get it on your hands. You just simply wipe it off while still getting long-term results on your leather. And that's a level of forgiveness you'll never get from a standard leather dye. But if I could leave you guys with one specific tip, I'm using a horsehair brush and it really makes the texture even and distributes the balm evenly. So you're definitely going to get the best results with a brush. If you have one, use it. If not, I'll definitely drop my top suggestions for everything we used in this video in the description below. All right, so now we're going to be moving on to this beautiful heavy-duty leather riding jacket. And this is some thick bovine leather, full grain, made to protect whoever wears it on the road. And as you guys can see, unfortunately, I don't know where this jacket came from, but I hope that the rider is okay. But it does look like they took a pretty bad fall here. This jacket definitely held up. And as you guys can see, there's so much abrasion and friction from hitting the asphalt here that took away the grain and the fibers of the leather. Bottom line is, unfortunately, setting the right expectations, we cannot restore that fiber, but we can change the color, which is a good thing. And literally no balm can restore the grain back. So we just want to set the right expectations here. This balm can do an amazing job bringing back the color, but it's not going to bring back the leather grain. It is just what it is. What was shredded stays shredded. So what you're doing is restoring the appearance and protecting what's left. Same process, you clean it, you dry it completely, and then you apply the balm. And then on those abraded areas, apply a slightly thicker layer or a second or third coat and work it in with a bit more deliberate pressure, allowing these areas a full overnight dry before you take away or buff off the excess. I can say more, but the results speak for themselves. So this Leather Honey leather and vinyl recoloring balm is really revolutionary, and here's why. First of all, it's a vegetable-based dye. It has no alcohols, no solvents that are harsh, no VOCs, no forever chemicals, no animal products. like so many other dyes on the market. And honestly, I'm in California and I literally cannot get most leather dyes delivered to me via Amazon because of all the restrictions. So this balm, absolutely no problem. The second thing, and it's the one I care about the most, is that it absorbs into the leather's fibers. It's not paint. It does not sit on the top of the surface like an opaque paint would. That distinction is really huge because it helps you keep your patina. A lot of products leave a film, which they may look restored for a few weeks, but then often it starts peeling or cracking because that pigment never actually bonded to the leather. It's terrible. So this one doesn't do that. It doesn't cake. It doesn't obscure the patina. It doesn't change the texture. You're restoring the color, not painting over the leather, which I love. And once it's dry, there's no color transfer and it won't bleed onto your clothes. So if you're worried about that, that's just a quick note there. Now on to the last and probably the most important C, which is conserve. Here's what most people get wrong. They think their leather starts to die when they use it a lot. They're wrong. Their leather starts to die when they fail to take care of it after they use it a lot. So that distinction is important. So that's why this C relates to keeping your leather structured and properly stored when not in use for the longest life possible. So here's my 3 top expert tips to keeping your leather jackets looking and feeling great for years to come. Number 1, condition before putting away your leather for the season. Most leather dies when it is used and then forgotten, but if you condition it before you store it, it has a lifeline of hydration that it uses until the next time that you use it. Otherwise, it has the potential to dry out, fade, and then become brittle, stiff, and crack. Number 2, properly structure and store your leather jackets with proper hangers and a hanging dust bag. Never fold your jackets because that can cause permanent creases and wrinkles. All you gotta do is insert a well-fitted hanger to fill out the shoulders as if you were wearing it yourself, and then insert it into a breathable hanging dust bag, either synthetic or cotton, and store it in a cool, dry closet. Number 3, mold and odor prevention. You know the mold that we cleaned off at the beginning? That didn't have to happen. So all you have to do is ensure that your leather is properly dried before storing it away. And a little hack here, you know those silica packets that often come in your Amazon packages? Yeah, keep those and insert them into your pockets of your jacket when not in use. This is going to absorb any ambient moisture and help prevent mold from growing. To recap, just remember these 3 things. Condition before storing, properly structure your leather with a hanger inside of a breathable dust bag, and then ensure your leather is fully dry away from damp environments before storing it away. And I just want to be clear here, this balm works on all types of leather pieces such as shoes, boots, furniture, car seats, belts, bags, purses, and so much more. Definitely check out the links in the description below and get some of this balm, which comes both in black and brown, and then let me know what you guys think. Alright guys, I was super pleased with the results on these leather jackets that were literally headed for the donation or landfill. And here's the thing, most of what actually works in leather care, I had to figure it out the hard way because big brands profit when your leather falls apart and you have to buy from them again. Most brands won't teach you how to break that cycle, so I put together a handbook that does. What the industry won't tell you, and how to be a smarter consumer because of it. The first 100 people on the waitlist get a free copy. We're already partway there. Links in the description below. So hit the like button, share this video with a friend, and consider subscribing for more in-depth restoration tutorials like this. Make sure you guys check out avummies.com as your go-to leather care resource. Definitely drop a comment below on the videos you guys want to see next, and stop putting off cleaning those suede leather sneakers. Oh, you didn't know? You can get immediate results with my waterless suede cleaning method here, so watch this video next and I'll see you over there. Remember to love your leather.